Hi, in today's video I'm going to make a mixed media birthday card. I'm going to make it from the wrapping paper I used to wrap the gift. I'm using a blank card that I bought in a pack of about 50, but you can use any cardboard and cut it the size that you need it. I fold it and then I'm going to work on the front. I have to try and keep the back side clean, but I'm quite a messy worker, so we'll see how it goes. I'm opening it and I'm put a piece of paper on the left side so that I don't accidentally paint or get glue on that side. The idea is to make a little mixed media project on this card. Except for the wrapping paper, I'm also going to use some tissue paper, Inktense pencils, acrylic paint, some water-soluble crayons, and I also use some gold ink. The plan is to put some of the flowers down, cover some with tissue paper so that they recede, and keep others just as they are so they are bold and stand out. The end product might not turn out the way that I planned. It usually doesn't. I'm tearing the paper as close as possible to the flowers, as I don't want too much of the white around it. I will do the same when I start tearing the butterflies. I'm just putting it down for now, and later on I will decide on a composition. What I like about using the flowers of the gift paper is that my card and my gift paper will go together. Once I have all the flowers ready, I put them down on the card the way I think I want them to be. Since this is a small project and I'm not going to use as many layers, I already start to think about composition. I see a butterfly that I can use close to the top, and then I think I might add a few more. Maybe about 3, because 3 always looks better than 2. I want them to look like they're flying over the paper around the flowers. I tear the butterflies as close to them as possible because I also, just like with the flowers, don't want too much white to show. So let's start gluing them to the paper. I'm using a satin medium, but you can use a gloss medium, matte medium, PVA glue or Mod Podge, whichever you want to use or have. I'm adding one of the flowers at the top and then 2 that's together near the bottom. I'm adding a 3rd flower at the bottom of the 2 bottom flowers, just for a better composition. This looks good. I really like the composition so far. Next I will add some tissue papers. I found this paper that looks like writing in my stash and I'm going to add it in the middle. The paper is a piece of medical exam paper, so I spray it with some water to make it more transparent. I put some of the medium down, then I put the wet paper on top of it with another layer of medium on top of it. Then I smooth it over with my finger to make sure that there is no air bubbles. The leaves I'm adding here is done on some mulberry paper that have very special texture. I'm not sure that the leaves will work because they're so big, but the green will be a good addition to my painting. I didn't really like the way they look once I added them to the paper because you couldn't even see they were leaves. But I still like the idea of the green. So even though I don't like them, I'm still adding some more of the leaves. I'm holding some mulberry paper and then also some blue tissue paper over the painting to see which will work better. But before gluing them down, I decided to make some marks with my China marker on the leaves. It did not work because the glue was still not dry. So I first took my hairdryer to dry it a bit. Once it was dry, I used the China marker again to go over the leaves, to define it a bit better. This time it worked, but I didn't like the green. I decided to use the Inktense pencil instead. It's an olive green Inktense pencil and it actually looked much better on the paper. I dipped the Inktense pencil in water before making the lines. It's like a watercolour pencil, but it dries permanently. Also make a few loose scribbles all over the card. I have a few tissue papers here that I want to use. This one and the green one is hand painted, while the light pink one is a store-bought tissue paper. I also got a blue one. I start layering the tissue papers on the card. I'm layering the green mulberry paper on top of the green leaves that I already added. The pencil lines on the leaves are not dry yet, so it is smudging. Before I carry on, I am using the hairdryer to dry it a bit. I'm now laying down another piece of green on top of the green area. I'm hoping that it will help fix the area that was smudged. I'm now painting with a little bit of medium over the scribbles that I made earlier to prevent them from moving around when I'm painting a next layer. I'm just lightly touching the lines with the brush to prevent them from smearing while I'm adding the medium. Before continuing, I must make sure the layers below are dry. I'm now adding a very light store-bought yellow tissue paper. I like it because I don't want any dark colors on top of what I already have. I use my paint shaper to smooth out any bubbles under the paper. I'm adding the pale pink store-bought tissue paper over the top flower. It's okay if it makes creases while I'm laying it down. It just creates a very nice texture. I'm now doing the same with the bottom flowers. I'm still not crazy about the green area, so I decided to add more flowers on top of it. That's the beauty of mixed media. If you don't like something, you can cover it. I loosely measure the paper that I want to add against the area where I want to place it, until I find a piece that fits. When I was a teacher, I used to tell the kids that in art you can't make any mistakes. It's not really that you don't make mistakes, it's just that nobody would know what mistakes you made unless you do something that I do, where I show you my whole process. Nobody would know what went through your mind while you were doing the art, and nobody will know exactly what you wanted to do except you. And other than that, you can always fix your mistakes in art. The card I'm using is warping quite a bit, but once I'm finished, I can always put it under a book or something heavy and it will flatten out again. I'm now thinking of using some of the butterflies that's on the gift wrap. I want to make them look as if they're flying between the flowers on the card. I feel I need a quiet area, so I decided to paint with transparent white, so that the bottom layers can show through. Before I can do that, I first have to dry my card. I also dry the back of the paper as it helps with the warping. Now I dry brush the white over the green area and also over part of the flowers and other areas where it's needed. Now I can add a few more butterflies on those lighter areas. I think the butterflies bring the whole piece together. Now all I need to do is to let this dry and then add a few gold splatters. I add a few more touches of white paint before I dry my painting. When drying medium, make sure that your hairdryer is set on cold, otherwise the medium will become sticky. There's a few loose pieces of paper hanging over the sides. I will cut that as soon as I'm done. The ink I'm using is a Winsor Newton drawing ink. This ink needs a lot of shaking before you can actually use it. It's a very bright gold with a nice shine. I gently tap the brush to create a very fine splatter of ink. I now just need to dry my painting and then I'm done. Finally, I cut off the pieces of paper that's hanging over the edge. I hope you're able to see how shiny the gold splatters are. Thank you for spending your time with me today. I hope you will try this. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and leave a comment. It will help other creatives just like you to find my channel. Until next time, goodbye.